Hi, my name is Ali Gabriel. I'm the Thomas J. Howard Chair in Management and Faculty Director of the Center for Working Well in the Mitchell E. Daniels Jr. School of Business at Purdue University. Leaders are in a really tricky position because they feel a lot of pressure to perform really well for themselves, but for the people that they also supervise. And there's going to be a tendency then for leaders to just be constantly thinking about work, even after they leave at the end of the day. And while that may seem helpful, it actually can really harm leaders because it can hinder their ability to recover from work-related stress. Rather than going home at the end of the day and taking time to detach and mentally disconnect, what we'll see sometimes is leaders will continue to ruminate and think about work-related issues or problems that they have. And what that does is it makes them come back the next day to work feeling less energized and less identified with their leader role. So not only are they really harming their well-being, but they're actually kind of detaching themselves from their purpose, so to speak. The blurriness of work and home boundaries with remote and hybrid work makes this really problematic because originally, when we would study things like recovery or detachment, you had built-in ways to detach. There was a commute, right? So you would go to work, that was your separation from home into the workplace. You would then go home at the end of the day. That was your ability to kind of facilitate that psychological disconnecting. And now what have we done? We've made our bedrooms, our kitchen tables, our offices. And so we lose that transition space to really make sure that we're able to detach or not. We have limited cognitive, emotional resources on a day-to-day basis that just get depleted the harder we push at work. And so if we go home then and continue to push, we're going to keep draining those resources down and just get into some really problematic states. We're going to feel more exhausted. We're going to feel more burned out. And so even though it might feel good to keep working, you feel like you're checking more things off your list, what we actually see is that that contributes to really problematic well-being states that harm people's productivity, that harm people's performance, in this case, that harm leaders' ability to really effectively engage with the people that they're supervising. So what we actually see in our study is that when leaders take time to psychologically detach, to psychologically separate from work-related thoughts, to physically separate from work, put their computers away, put their phones away, it actually allows them to come back feeling invigorated the next workday. They feel more identified with their leader role, and we actually see that other people notice. So the people that they supervise will rate them as more transformational, as having greater power at work. And so just taking a little bit of time for themselves in the evening can go a long way in making them more effective in their leader role. There needs to be some intentionality in detaching, that we need to think about how we're sending signals to other people about sending emails after hours, sending texts after hours to help people craft healthier relationships with their work. The thing I like to remind people to do is, try not to bring work into your leisure spaces. If you're going to work at home, let's not do this somewhere where you typically try to psychologically detach, because it's just going to serve as these cues, as these reminders, because at any given point, we all could keep working. Like there's a never-ending supply of work for us to be doing. So the more that we can kind of craft spaces where we can break that signal apart, those reminders to work, the easier it's going to be to help people detach and take care of themselves after hours. Another type of rumination we've studied in leaders is this idea of what we call problem-solving pondering. So if you're going to think about work, rather than just think about how hard it is and how stressful it is and how much tension it's giving you, what if we channeled those thoughts and instead said, okay, what can I do better tomorrow? What are the goals I can set to make tomorrow go better than today did? And that type of thinking, even though it is not detaching, it's not a pure form of recovery, that tends to be a lot more adaptive, it's less straining, it's a little bit more restorative. And so if you're going to think about work after hours, that's the way to do it. Taking care of yourself, it's an act of self-care that's going to be really crucial, not just for yourself as a leader, but for the people that you are helping motivate and lead the next workday and the day after that and the day after that.